Okay, guys, back on the throttle body Mission Impossible. The only thing that I changed at all on this was I took this corner out. You can see the difference between this corner and this corner. They're really blocking this off quite a bit, even with a 194, right? Now, you got to remember, I had that plunge cut out for the 2055, but it was still really close. So this frees up some area right here, which, in my opinion, should speed up the short side because it's going to be able to get air out easier this way, which will also counteract our swirl a little bit. Now, will that be productive? We'll find out. As far as our liquid on our chamber, really doesn't look much different than the last time we looked at it. It looks damn good. Let's take a look at our bore. Okay, our bore looks pretty good as far as I'm concerned. No big changes. All right, that does look a little bit different. I think it's a little straighter and a little narrower, but on the divided wall side, that looks like it's moved over quite a bit. I don't remember this having this angle right here on the last flow. Now, that may have something to do with more air coming out this way, right? Interesting to think about. Okay. Okay, take a look at our valve. It's definitely lighter on this side. It's more concentrated on that one side there. Okay, it definitely looks narrower in the center of that bore than it was to me. We'll have to find out if, according to the flows and the swirls, whether it's worth doing that, notching that chamber out or not. Remember, you lose a little compression that way. I mean, if you gain flow, does it really lose compression? I always thought about that. It would have to gain a decent amount of flow in order for it to be worth it, I think, at this point. Okay, trying to see what we can see there. Let me see if I can one-hand this for you guys. Since this has been freed up, we're able to get more across this side. So this side should have sped up in airflow speed. Okay, the rest of that short side and everything is exactly the way we saw it last time. Okay, I goofed up. I actually did the first flow without the damn bolt in there. So we're not going to count that one. This one, I put the bolt in because that's how the 12th cut was done. So how did we do? We got plus, 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 small pluses, but still pluses, minus, plus, 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 but it didn't quite top out as good. So if we're running at 600, we got a little bit of a gain, 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 a little loss, a little gain. This is actually a decent sized gain right here. Right, 109 to 115.8. That's a good jump. Now let's take a look at what happened to our swirl. Notice we said it should knock the swirl down. Well, it did. It was actually 0 at the start, which I was amazed to see. And then it progresses nicely, and then it kind of gets overly fast at the very end. It's actually still a little bit faster than I'd like to get it at 600 lift. But this is a better curve than this curve. So, considering how many pluses we have, and the swirl, I'm kind of leaning towards it, even though I didn't like the Dicam quite as well. And when we go through the airspeeds, I think I might be able to explain that. Okay, these are our 12th cut airspeeds. These are our 13th cut airspeeds. So these actually went down a touch. This went up a touch. All measured at 600 lift. Not really sure. You know, I was having a bit of an issue with the clay. The clay was starting to give me a hard time. So the clay may not have been exactly the way it was last time. As far as your roof, There's a mistake there. Let's fix that. Okay. Our roof got faster on the center of the cylinder, but it got slower on the cylinder wall side. On the roof. Let's see what happened on the short side. Okay. Center of the cylinder, we lost quite a bit of speed. 356 to 328. The center stayed relatively the same, just went up a touch. Look at how much higher it went on the cylinder wall side. Because it's able to get the air out easier, that really cranked up the airspeed right there. There is probably something to be gained doing something with that corner. I'm going to have to think about exactly what I need to do with it. But I think that's... I don't know. I have to think about it. Give me your input on where we should go from here. In reality, it's like the man said, you know, stick a fork in it. It's pretty good for what it is. You know what is interesting? When I forgot the bolt, notice the difference in the swirl versus with the bolt. It really got knocked down fast because the air can come right through that head bolt hole and completely change the airflow inside the bowl. But look at how much it knocked down. You know, some of them are actually better, right? And some of them really take a hit. Interesting. You know, sometimes a mistake is a learning opportunity. So even though I get grouchy when I do it, it's not always the worst thing that happens. All right, you know what we need to do? We need to take a quick look at our intake to exhaust ratio as they sit right now. Let's calculate that up. Okay, I seem to remember that with a pipe we were going 224.6 at 600. I'm not 100% sure if that's correct. Let me just give a quick check. Okay, sorry, I did have that off by a little bit. At least I think that's the latest cut on the exhaust. There's 223 with an 1 7/8 pipes at 600. It's 223.1, and here we're 275.1 at 600. That gives us an 81% exhaust to intake ratio. As far as I'm concerned, that's good. In fact, if we wanted to do something stupid in the future, like a supercharger or some nitrous, I think that would still probably work. You guys can give me your input on that. And as far as that goes, I think we're done for tonight. So thanks for hanging out. Have a good night.